Okay, kids, it's story time. So way back in the beginning when the earth was still cooling and dinosaurs roamed the land, I was sitting in my parents' basement trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I like solving problems and fixing things, so I thought engineering may be the way to go. Got accepted into a really good school and everything. But I just couldn't swallow the thought of 4 years of theoretical learning. So I dropped out and thought about becoming an airplane mechanic. I love airplanes and I was always messing around with cars, so this way I'd still be solving problems and fixing things, but in a much more hands-on environment. So I became an airplane mechanic. And this is where I learned the first of many important life lessons. Turning a hobby into a career doesn't always pan out the way you'd expect. I loved working on cars, still do, but only when I have time and I feel like it. As a licensed mechanic though, if someone was paying me to do work, I had to do work. And it didn't matter if it was minus 20 degrees outside and all they had me doing was refueling airplanes for 8 hours. That was the job. That was also when I learned the art of the pivot. Making a large or several small adjustments to your career's trajectory to keep it pointed in the direction you think you want it to go. Now, I've pivoted so many times in my career that I get dizzy just thinking about it. And when I think back to some of those big and small changes, my life could have gone horribly sideways if not for the one thing I've always done before, during, and after a career change. I've always taken note of the lessons I was learning, and I put those lessons in my tool belt. There are things that I learned as a mechanic which helped me when I was a retail store manager. And there are things I learned from retail sales that make me a better negotiator. And I'm sharing those lessons, plus a whole lot more, in my 7-week negotiation training course. It's 1 hour a week in a live video conference with me, 40 minutes covering one of my modules, and 20 minutes of Q&A. If your job requires you to negotiate with suppliers, regardless of what department you work in, you could do a lot worse than spending an hour a week learning from my 25 plus years of industry experience. I keep the training cohorts intimate, no more than 15 people, so I couldn't get everyone into the one starting this week. But there's a second one starting December 5th, and there's still a few seats available. Folks, I've been delivering this training for a few years now, and I charge $12.99 per person. But for the November and the upcoming December cohort, I've cut that in half. So if you're interested, seriously interested in getting into the December training, put "train me" in the comments below, and I'll send you the course outline and a link to register. And I'll leave you with another important life lesson. If you could do it alone, you would have done it already. Okay, that one's from Harvey Booker's Weight Loss for Men, but it's still a great quote, and it applies to this as well, so I hope to see some of you on December 5th.